What childhood rules do you still follow, for no real reason? If I'm sitting in the back seat of a car and both seats are open, I sit on the left side. The right side was always my brother's growing up, and it just feels wrong to be sitting there, even almost a decade later. I have horrible anxiety about doing anything the evening after calling in sick. When I was a kid, if you were too sick to go to school, you're too sick to play. So if I ever call into work sick but feel better later, or while I should have been working, I force myself to stay home and not do things I want to do. I won't go out at all. What inspired me to make this thread was that I told my dad I was excited to have some peanut butter soon, as my mom's birthday is approaching. He laughed and said, "You do realize you've been an adult for quite a while now? You're allowed peanut butter when you want." For some reason it hadn't clicked in my brain that the rule my dad made about only being allowed to eat it for holidays and special occasions wasn't something I had to follow anymore. I nearly always walk on my tiptoes so I don't make noise when I walk. Because if I ever made noise walking as a kid, I would be in trouble. I still hold on to the side of the cart when I go shopping with my mom. Only open one box of cereal at a time, and never eat the last of something you didn't buy. My mom instituted the latter because I would always eat all of her Swiss rolls. Now I do it partially out of respect, and partially out of the fear of my mom beating my ass. I only eat one thing at a time to make sure I'm hungry before preparing the next item to cut down on waste. No overhead lights on while driving. Watch my language very carefully around anyone older than me. No phone calls before 9 a.m. or after 10 p.m. We have been getting a robocall after 10 recently, and it infuriates me beyond all reason. Can't step on lines while walking on tiles. Eat the whole fortune cookie before you read the message, otherwise it won't come true. Doesn't work with a lot of them, since nowadays they're mostly just bits of wisdom rather than predictions, but I always stuck with it. Bedtime. I pushed it back about an hour, but I'm going to sleep by 10 at the latest nights despite being a college student. I'd rather wake up early than stay up late. Telling my parents goodnight and I love them every night. I'm only 19, so not that old, but it feels important to me. The first thing you do when you get home is change out of your day clothes into your play clothes. Lounging around the house in nice clothes is a stain or tear just waiting to happen. Nothing sweet for breakfast. I'm an adult, I can eat what I want, but I still can't stomach anything sweeter than Cheerios for breakfast. Clean as you cook. It's nice to not deal with a mess afterwards. Sometimes I'll skip movie scenes that I couldn't watch as a child just because I'm so used to it, and the movie wouldn't be the same without skipping it. I used to always eat my food in order of least favorite to favorite, and I still do that now as an adult. I end up going to pee every time I have to go out of house or office, even if I don't really need to. A large centipede was hiding under the seat of my toilet when I was a kid. It crawled onto my ass while I was taking a shit, and I freaked out, and it kept on crawling all over my body while I was trying to grab it and take it off. While I was shaking and trying to get it off, shit was flowing out of my asshole, and I slipped on my own shit. The centipede crawled away and I just laid on the floor in my own shit, crying because I was so traumatized by that event. I now always check under the toilet seat. Homer. The code of the schoolyard. Marge. The rules that teach a boy how to be a man. Let's see, don't tattle, always make fun of those different from you, never say anything unless you're sure everyone feel exactly the same way you do. No singing at the table. I didn't realize until I was an adult that my parents just made that up because I can't sing, and no one wants to hear kids singing all the time. I call my mom out on doing this anytime she starts to sing if we are eating together. Something our kids are of a kingship material. Another is no eating in your room. My parents didn't care or enforce this, but I went on a student exchange, and my host dad did. I still to this day don't ever eat in my room. My dad made up a rule to stop my big brother from asking about getting a dog every 10 seconds. We had neighbors on both sides who had dogs, so the rule was that only every other house could have a dog. My brother believed it for a long time. Giving my mom regular updates when I travel. My parents were divorced and my mum was struggling financially, so I would travel without her from a fairly young age, whether it be with my dad's side of the family or for the summer-winter camps. She came up with a rule that I can have all the independence I want, as long as I make sure to regularly check in with her and let her know about every major location change. I still let her know in advance about every out-of-town journey I take, and always let her know once I reach my destination and then get back home. When I travel by planes, I always let her know when I get to the airport, get through security, board, take off, land and to get to the place I'm supposed to be staying at. I didn't realize it's a bit silly until my partner pointed it out to me that I am, in fact, a grown-up, living in another country, and I don't have to tell my mum what time I'm going to be home every night. I also feel very uncomfortable going out on a Saturday night if the flat hasn't been deep cleaned. My brother and I, also housemates, still have this rule we had as children: whoever uses it last must also put it away. And we still use this big whiteboard which tells our week schedule. Even though we always communicate by WhatsApp how late we will be home. When I'm in a store, especially ones that have lots of breakables, I automatically put my hands in my pockets. It was a good way to make sure my brother and I didn't accidentally break stuff or carry things around that we wanted to ask for at checkout. Now it's just a habit and way more comfortable to keep up. I will never buy those candies at the cash register at supermarkets. I still take naps midday. Our office has a meditation room, which is perfect for a short snooze. When I was 4, I said a bad word while watching Family Guy, so the rule for everyone was no more Family Guy. I am now in my teens and can watch whatever I want. My parents have even tried to get me to watch Family Guy. Nope, I cannot allow myself to watch Family Guy no matter what for absolutely no reason. Stranger danger. When I was about 19, I'd get weirded out when other adults would speak to me. I always thought it was super creepy since you're not supposed to speak to strangers. Then I realized the term stranger danger was just for kids. No one ever really explained to me that as an adult it's okay to speak to strangers. Taking my hat off when I eat. I always wore a baseball hat when I was young, and my father always made me remove my hat when we ate because he believed it was proper etiquette. Even now as an adult I always remove my hat when I eat, whether it be at a bar with friends or simply dinner alone at home. It just became a habit. No wire hangers. Wearing underwear in the car. Even if you're just running to the gas station, you must always wear underwear. As a child, I was told, what will the EMTs think of you if they have to save you and you're not wearing underwear? And I thought it was so ridiculous. Now I think, but what if one of them is hot? I should be wearing my good underwear. No elbows on the table. Teeth, potty, PJS. My mom used to say this mantra before it was time for me to go to bed. It meant brush my teeth, use the bathroom, put on my pajamas, and then I'm all set for bed. Still do this and in same order. I still don't put my purse on the floor. My mom always said if you did it, you would lose money. 7y added stuck lol. I don't curse in front of my parents and grandparents, but I curse in front of just about everybody else. Can't leave my feet hanging off the side of the bed at night or else the monsters will get me. When opening a soda can, tap on the tab 5 times. My friend told me it doesn't foam when you do that, and I've done it without thought ever since. When I was 2, I used to run out the door and stand in the middle of the road. My mom managed to Pavlov me into not going out without my shoes on, or else that was just how I was, and she would hide my shoes, and I wouldn't go outside. I still, in my 20s, can't stand to walk barefoot outside. The rule of being on all 4 when running upstairs. It's still something I do occasionally. If I'm splitting food with someone and I'm the one to divide the portions, I always have the other person choose which one they want to take. My mom had this rule for my older brother and myself when we were kids to get us to divide things we were sharing evenly. When no adults are around, we can play video games whenever we want and have dessert before dinner if we feel like it. Woohoo! I still force myself to eat the crust on a sandwich, and the thought is always in the back of my mind that I have to eat it quick so I can get to the part I enjoy. For me, it's more reinstating childhood rules for myself so I can be a better functioning adult. Things like having a set bedtime and wake-up time, spending only from an ALLOWANZE. I'm horrible with money otherwise, eating set portions of food at set times in the day. It's a slow process, but I can feel it helping me. Also, holding on to the side of the shopping cart while grocery shopping with my mom. If I'm over for a visit when she needs to do the shopping, I go with her so she'll have the company. That rule will pop into my adult head, and I just grab hold without thinking further on it. She just laughs, and we get on with the shopping.